welcome to Book Bus with Jen and Ping, a podcast focused on romance books. This is a place where we'll usually be talking about our current reads, the books we're excited about. We're going to be reviewing some new book releases, and as well, we started interviewing authors. So make sure you're following us on Instagram, YouTube, Spotify. That way you don't miss out on the interviews with all these amazing authors. If you missed it, last week we had 𝐭𝐚𝐥𝐤 as a guest in our podcast. We talked about her experience as an author, her previous books, her future books, and her current release, Could Have Been Us, which if you haven't yet, we totally recommend it. It's on sale and it is amazing. Stella and Jack are going to steal your heart away. So on this week's episode, we're going to be talking about our current reads and some of our go-to authors. I have a lot of go-to authors. That is what we're going to be talking about. So for this week, I finished reading Rebellious by Christy Marie. That is the first book I read of hers. And I came across her book when she released the alternative cover of the book Rebellious. Oh my God, it is gorgeous.
I saw it.
You saw it? It's like has that girl laying on the field of flowers and a little message on her, was it wrist and her arm?
Yeah.
I was like, oh my gosh. I ended up going into her profile and signing up for that book. And it was so good. From the blurb, I was so scared that it was going to be like it was gonna rip my heart out. I was like, I don't know what to expect because, like I said, this is the first book I pick up from this author.
Yeah.
So, funny story. So I saw the cover, liked it, went on to her. You know how authors have that bio link tree thing? Okay, so I ended up going to her website, and she had the pre-order for the paperback / hardback for the book for the special edition. I bought the hardback and I still hadn't read the book, but I was like, the cover is so pretty. Like I have to have that cover.
Yeah.
So I ended up ordering it. And then I got the art like 2 weeks ago, I believe a week ago, 2 weeks ago. And I read it and I was so scared going into it. I was like, I'm going to cry. This is going to rip my heart out. Like I've recently learned to go into a book just fresh. Like, you know, so I went into it. It was, oh my gosh, I cried. I cried. It was so good. Okay, so it is definitely not how I expected. It's a Friends to Lovers. The heroine is phenomenal. I loved her. She's very sassy, which I love. You know, I love a sassy heroine. And she's very determined.
Okay.
The hero is more of he's very closed off. He doesn't let anybody in except the heroine.
Okay.
But again, they're best friends. He doesn't want to cross the line between friends to lovers.
Yeah.
So this can be read as a standalone. Like I said, this is the first book I pick up of hers. But I guess this is like a spin-off off of her previous series. So this book is about the kids. Okay. Series. So I guess they don't want the hero doesn't want to ruin anything with the family friendship and everything that they have. So that's why he keeps himself at a certain lane from the heroine. But what I loved about the heroine is like she's so determined to to change his mind.
Yeah.
Like she loves him, she wants to be with him, and the stuff she does in order to like get close to him had me like swooning. I was like, oh my, like it starts off in a way that you're like hardcore rooting for them. It is so, you need to read it. It is amazing. The hero I loved him. They both go through some stuff, so it's like you learn to love both of them. But I am gonna say I love the hero on this book. And it's more of the way and the spot that his mindset is at. Like he's so careful. He loves her, but he he doesn't want to mess anything up with their families. And
Mhm.
it's like they've been, I don't know if I mentioned this earlier, they've been childhood friends from the beginning.
Mhm.
She is older than him, I think by 3 years.
Okay.
So it was a little bit weird because when the book started, it's you're taken back to when they were kids.
Uh-huh.
So it was very weird for me
Uh-huh.
because I don't read any age gaps, or I'm not very, I don't read a lot of where the heroine is older than the hero.
Yeah.
So it was very like, but you can't even tell. It is amazing. Loved it. Recommend it. I wish I could give it more than 5 stars. And it is funny because after I finished it, I
Mhm.
went back and I ordered one of the parents' books from this series.
Mhm.
So I got it. I haven't read it, but I'm very excited to read it.
So when you said she's very determined, does it look like she come off as a desperate girl wanting to be with him?
No, it's more
Yeah.
of she knows that what he feels,
Mhm.
and she's determined to make him realize that, it's okay for
Yeah.
them to give it a go.
Yeah.
She's not pushy as I want you with me. It doesn't matter what you
Mhm.
think, what you feel, etc., etc. It's determined as I want you to open your eyes and see that, it's not wrong for them to
Mhm.
be together, or
Yeah.
just take a leap of faith.
Yeah.
And it's like the blurb says, they have a list of what they can't do.
Mhm.
So it's like he's always bringing that up to where, no kissing when they're drunk, or
Mhm.
etc., like stuff like that. And it's
Mhm.
very funny because it's towards the end,
Mhm.
you see the list come back up, and it's like, it's just so cute. I loved it. The way it was written, it didn't feel rushed, and it didn't feel,
Mhm.
like you said, like the heroine was very pushy.
Mhm.
And it didn't feel like that. It felt very sweet, romantic,
Mhm.
heartbreak, friends to lovers. I don't want to spoil it for those that are going to read it and are maybe reading it, but there's something that the heroine does for the hero that
Mhm.
gets me every single time.
Mhm.
And then there's a point in the book where, she's like every heroine in a book, she's had enough, and he has to do that certain thing by himself,
Mhm.
and it breaks my heart.
Mhm.
It breaks my heart. And he's very, I don't know how to say it to where, because I always say that the hero is amazing and it's like I loved him, but this one was so sweet that he
Mhm.
literally had me like swooning.
Mhm.
And it's just like, weirdly, it wasn't annoying to where I was like, make up your mind and etc., etc. It was more of
Mhm.
a like, I get him, I feel
Yeah.
bad for him, I
Mhm.
love him, I want them to be together, but I get where he's coming from. The way it was written, it was very good,
Mhm.
and I loved it. I cannot wait to read more books by her. I recommend this book. It is so good. If you want a book that has all the feels, I definitely recommend this one. It's gonna make you swoon, it's gonna make you smile, it's gonna make you laugh, it's gonna make you cry. It's all the feelings in one book.
Mhm.
I also started reading Reckless Refuge by Catherine Cowles.
Mhm.
Okay, so when I said I just started, I mean literally I just started.
Mhm.
I read the prologue, and it hurt. Like the prologue hurt.
Mhm.
Um, I thought so, and I think I told you this the other day. I thought this was gonna be a happy, sweet, romantic book.
Mhm.
Maybe it is, but then I started seeing comments that it broke their heart, but that it was like
Mhm.
that it was really good. It was amazing, their favorite book yet, but that it broke their heart.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was a book like that.
Yeah.
Like I said, I thought it was a romantic, sweet book.
Mhm.
And I was like, oh crap. Like that means like it's gonna literally break my heart. So
Yeah.
I was very excited,
Mhm.
but a little bit nervous going in because I was like, it's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt.
Yeah.
And just the prologue, it already hurts.
Yeah.
And the prologue keeps you hooked.
Mhm.
So the way the prologue finishes, you're like, what the heck?
Uh-huh.
It was like I was watching a TV show episode, and the first episode ended, and you're like, oh my God, I need the second episode. That's how I
Uh-huh.
felt. Good thing it's a book, so I can go ahead and read it.
Yeah.
But it caught my attention
Uh-huh.
right off like the bat. So I'm so excited to continue reading that book. I'll talk about that one soon. But yeah, that's so far what I've read.
Well, for me, I just finished reading Fallen Jester by Daphne Perry. I'm not sure which was my favorite in the series right now, but this one is seriously one of the top ones.
Wasn't it good?
It was so good. Okay. Leo, he broke my heart. Like, seriously, he was so mean. The way how he treated her, I wanted to strangle him. I wanted to slap him. I was like, oh my gosh, he is such a jerk. So first of all, this one is a accidental pregnancy or slash surprise pregnancy trope. And I seriously think Daphne needs to write more of those.
Yes.
Like from Forsaken Trail and this one, I love it. I need more of surprise pregnancy from Daphne. So I hope she would write more. And for this one, I love Cassandra so much. I don't know how to explain it, but the way how she went through that kidnap and then found out that she's pregnant from a one-night stand. Even when Leo treated her so bad, she never gave up. She didn't care. She just continued with her life. Even when he he kind of like,
he was a douche.
Yeah. Like he didn't slap her, but it pretty much looked like he slapped her. So, but yeah, he was mean. I did not like him at first. And then as the story goes on, he grew on me. I love him. But I still think Cassandra is, in the book, I like Cassandra more than Leo.
There was a scene in the book between Cassandra and her mom where she makes a comment that literally broke my heart. I was bawling.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I hate him. He's the worst.
Yeah. He was mean. I was like, seriously? Because Daphne doesn't really write jerks, like douchey. And man, she's good at writing a jerk hero.
I need more single parent from her. I need more surprise pregnancy from her. I need more jerk hero from her.
Yes. Yeah, because she does those so amazing. I love it. I totally recommend it. It comes out on the 18th of this month. So check it out when it releases.
It's funny because I've always said from before this one, before I read Fallen Jester, I always said River Knight was my favorite. And I think Fallen Jester is my favorite now. There's something about it, like you said, it was like he was a douche.
Yeah.
Plus it was like a surprise pregnancy.
Yeah.
It was like everything that I loved in a book.
Yes.
Everything. And I felt so bad for Cassandra. And I was like, ugh. But then the more you read, you feel bad for Leo. Yeah. Because you see where he's coming from. You see why he is the way he is. Yeah. So it's like you can't hate him anymore. It's like I loved him. Loved the book. I loved it. I wish I could give it more than 5 stars. I seriously wish, because it's like it was phenomenal. Yep.
And the one that I'm currently reading, I have this book on my TBR for like forever. I feel like Chicago Code Black by Diane Portman Ray. Chicago Code Black is the second book in her Chicago series. I don't think there's a lot of doctor books out there. This series, I like it. I loved it. The first book, it was funny. So I'm only like 15% in, but I kid you not, I'm loving it already. This is a memory loss kind of book. She lost her memory and he's a doctor. So he saw her, since he's a doctor, obviously, then he ran to the accident scene. He took her to the hospital. He found out that she lost her memory. And so he's a single father. I forgot to mention that. He's a single father. His wife left him. His daughter is 9 months old. And then once she woke up, she realized that she don't remember most of her life. She pretty much forgot all of that. And so guess what he did? It's quite a jerk of what he did, but I think it's so interesting.
Did he tell her she was his wife?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
So she saw that he had a ring band on and she had one on too. So she assumed that they're
So is she married?
I don't know. It's a mystery. Yeah, so she thought that he's her husband. And so he's like, oh, well, he went on with it, lying that he's her husband. And so I'm left off at the part where he was like, okay, we have a daughter. So she's like, oh my gosh, I forgot all about I feel bad because I forgot about my daughter.
Yeah. What a douche.
Yes. So I'm at that part and I stopped to do the podcast. So I'm gonna read it right after.
Now I want to read that.
It's actually, I think it's very unique. I don't think I've read a book like this, and I'm enjoying it. I'm really liking it.
Now I want to read it. Even though I think he's a douche, I want to read it.
Yes.
We're gonna dive into our go-to authors, and since Pang in the beginning said she had like a list planned out and everything, I'm gonna let her go first, and then I'll follow her lead.
Okay. I don't remember all the tropes, but some of the tropes that I have down for dark romance, my go-to authors. These authors gave me a lot of anxiety, especially this first one, Monica James.
Definitely.
For dark romance, oh my gosh. She gave me so much anxiety. Every single time I read her books, I go in shaking.
I get scared.
Yes. Yeah. So yeah, she's one of them for my go-to authors. And Natasha Knight, love Natasha's book so much. Skye Warren, she writes some dark romance, but not all of her books are dark. But she's one of, when she writes dark romance, I love it. And Anna Zyrus, I love her dark romance. Those are some of my go-to authors for dark romance. And then small towns. I love small towns. Sometimes I feel like small town is the best one out of all the tropes for me. Some of my favorite authors for small towns, for sure, Daphne Perry, Corinne Michaels, Melanie Harlow, and Catherine Cowles. Those are my 4. I feel like I've read so many small towns, but these, I look at my bookshelves and these are the ones that are on my bookshelves. So yeah, I only have those 4 lists for small towns. And then, you know me, I love age gap, forbidden romance. And these are definitely some of my favorite age gap and forbidden books. Shanora Williams, I love her books. So forbidden, I love it. And QB Tyler, Brianna Hale, and Gianna Darling. I have to say a lot of her books, pretty much all of her books from her Fallen Men are all age gap. So if you love age gap, go check her Fallen Men series. For rom-com, I need more recommendations. I feel like I've only read Megan Quinn for rom-com, and I need people recommend Helena Hunting, but I haven't had time to pick up her books. But I've only read Megan Quinn, and I need more recommendations for rom-com authors. So please do leave it in the comment. I want to pick up other rom-com books also. And for billionaire tropes, I am currently obsessed with T.L. Swan series, her Mr. series, and the Miles High Club. You need to pick those up, girl. You have to pick those up.
I have never read anything by her.
You have to pick it up. Okay. My current favorite one is The Takeover. I think I talked about it on the podcast, if I remember correctly. But yeah, T.L. Swan is one of them. And L.J. Shin. I think L.J. mainly writes billionaires books, huh?
Kinda, yeah.
Like only her standalones are more, not really billionaire, but for all her series are mainly billionaires. So I put her under the billionaire category. Those are all pretty much my go-to authors. I diehard fans for these authors. They release whatever book I will pick it up. I kid you not. Even if it's not really my cup of tea, but I love them, I will still pick up the book. So I totally recommend. Yes, I totally recommend any books by them.
Okay, so I'm gonna do what you did. I'll go ahead and separate them by trope. So my go-to authors for dark romance has to be, and I don't know if I should put her in a dark romance, because the last series she wrote was kind of like a dark romance / mafia. So I'm just gonna go ahead and put her there. It's Jessica Hawkins. She wrote the White Monarch series, which you still need to read. So I don't know why I'm putting her in dark romance, but I'm just gonna go ahead and do it. Alexandra Silva by her Virtuous and Scorch series. Phenomenal. Read it ASAP. Which she has an announcement coming up very, 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 very soon. I can't wait so I can post it too. Lila James. I really like her dark romance. Like the Tainted Heart series will always be my favorite of hers. Always. It's that series though, it hits hard. It hits hard. Like, remember I told you, I was like, you're gonna want to skip some parts.
Yeah.
They're just too painful, but definitely that one. And I want to say Claire Contreras, because some of her books are dark romance. Well, romantic suspense. So I'm going to go ahead and say Claire Contreras. You guys know she's my unicorn. I love her. She is like my go-to, without a doubt, my go-to. And like I said, this one, she's my drop your current read to read her new release ASAP.
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't really want to put this in a dark, because it's not very dark, but it's very, it's dark enough, but it's very suspenseful. Mary Elizabeth, her books are phenomenal. I love them. Like I talked about 2 podcasts ago, Harlot, it's very suspenseful, but it has that dark feeling to it. Plus her previous books are kind of dark too. So she's become one of my go-to authors too. So definitely check her out if you haven't. Tramp is currently on sale for 99 cents. So make sure you get that. It's so good. It's so good. The sale ends on the 9th. So May 9th. So you have like a whole week to get it. So make sure you get it. It's so good. And even if you can't read it right now, at least get it. It's a good sale. It's a good sale. And then Small Town. I feel like I have a lot of small town authors. But like you, my first one has to be Daphne. She is like, she's another one of my unicorns. I would drop anything to just read her books. Corinne Michaels. And Natasha Madison. She has her Southern series, Small Town series. But I also put her in a different category, which I'll say it later. But I think her Southern series falls under the small town trope. So I'm going to go with Natasha Madison. Catherine Cowles. She's definitely a small town go-to for me. Oh yeah, Amber Kelly and Kelly Elliott also have a really good small town. I don't think you've read Kelly Elliott, have you? Oh, you need to. Like her small towns are really good. They make me cry too. And like I said, if they make me cry, I think that's it for my small town. I think. And then I'm gonna go ahead and say my sports go-to authors. So I want to say Kay Bromberge, because first of all, Driven, it's a sport. Love that series. It's my favorite. And her Play Hard series, which just released. I'm lying. Because the last book, Hard to Love, is coming out soon. So, but that series was really good. The last one has been my favorite of that whole series. But I love her sport romance books. Again, and this is where Natasha falls back again. Natasha Madison, her sport books are really good. She writes hockey. So it's like, if you're looking for a good hockey sport romance, definitely Natasha Madison. Also, I'm gonna go ahead and say Monica Murphy. She writes football. Love her book. She's more of a young adult too. So if you're looking for a young adult sports, definitely check her out. I love her books. And then another one, well, who's been my go-to actually, is Molly McAdams. I love hers. Would fall more I wouldn't say dark romance though. More like a suspense, small town. It's her books are just so good. I love her. Kennedy Ryan is a go-to for me. Jay McLean, she does a lot of young adult too. Love her. Her books literally always make me cry. And it was so funny. I was rereading Leo the other day. Girl, I still cried. There's a certain scene that still makes me cry, and it's horrible because I don't just cry, I ugly cry to where I can't even catch my breath. She's a go-to for me. Ella Fields, love her. I don't really know where to put her in because hers is like enemies to lovers / friends to lovers / second chance story. So I don't know what category to put her in, but she's really, really good. Pretty Venom still has to be my favorite of hers. That book still makes me so mad though. The hero is such a douche. And yeah, and I think those are my go-to authors. But this is just putting it in categories. But I mean, like you said, every time they release something, they're automatically my go-to.
Yeah.
Oh, and you know who's become my go-to author too? Holly Renee. It's like I am dying for the second book of her series. It's like, why is time going by so slow? It's seriously punishing me. It feels like I've been June 10th, which that's the date the book releases, needs to get here ASAP. Like, I need that book in my life. Why is it taking forever? I feel like I have more, but I do tend to read like back-to-back authors. So it's out of all of those that you said, who are your top 3?
For these, I mainly say it because when I first started reading, their books stuck with me the most. So Daphne Perry, Shanora Williams, and L.J. Shin, my top 3. What about you?
This is hard because like I could name my top 4 easily, but since it's top 3, it's gonna be Daphne Perry, which / Willa Nash, because she / Willa Nash, because I mean it's the same author, but Daphne Perry for sure, Claire Contreras, and Natasha Madison. My top 4, I would add Corinne in there because I mean she's a go-to for me. But those are my top 3.
Yeah,
Daphne, Claire, and Natasha. But it's hard because it's like I love so many others, and I feel bad like just saying 3 because, like I said, I have a lot. I love all the authors, and it's funny because they've been taking such good books out recently. And I'm not saying that they haven't before, but recently it's like they're on fire.
Yeah.
Which like Daphne just took out, it's about to take out Fallen Jester, which like I said earlier has become my favorite book of the teen gypsy series. Claire Contreras, I just love everything she writes. It's you guys know, like I am a hardcore Claire Contreras fan. Which side note, which I'm going to talk about a little bit towards the end of this episode. I am freaking out because if you didn't know, she is going to be our next author interview next week. So I'm freaking out. And then Natasha, it's like I love her books. And it's funny because her book, Something So Irresistible, will always be my favorite book of hers. It doesn't matter if she writes another one that I think is amazing, but nobody is gonna replace Max ever. But those 3 I think are my top, like my unicorns. Which funny thing is, all of them are gonna be at Book Bonanza next year. Yay! I'm so excited. There's like so many authors that I like that are coming to Book Bonanza. Let me name you some of them. I think there's more coming than the year that I went, which was 2 years ago. O.A. Jackson is coming. I met her and she's like so sweet. She's so sweet. Catherine Cowles is coming, which again, I already met too, and she's the sweetest. Claire Contreras. Oh, I'm so excited. Corinne Michaels, Daphne Perry. I'm so excited to see her again. I've seen her twice. One at Holiday with the Bells, like way before Book Bonanza, and then at Book Bonanza. Ella Fields is coming. I am so excited. I haven't met her yet, and I'm so excited to meet her. Jana Darling is coming. I'm so excited. Jessica Hawkins is coming. I've met her too. She's the sweetest. Jodie Ellen Mappus is coming. Candy Stainer is coming. Kelly Elliott is coming. Kennedy Ryan is coming. KK Allen is coming. I'm so excited to meet her. I just read I read her previous book that just released, Under the Moon, I think it's called. It was really cute. I liked it a lot. Megan Brandy is coming. Megan Gwynn. Melanie Harlow is coming. Molly McAdams. Monica Murphy is coming. I'm so excited. I can finally meet her. I haven't met her, and I'm so excited to finally meet her. Natasha Madison is coming. Sky Warren is coming. I want to meet her. Stacey Hart. I've met her. She's so funny. She's so sweet. Yeah, and that's it from the people I want to see. That's it. That's coming. And I'm so excited. I know I'm going to the Holiday with the Bells in September. Kennedy Ryan is coming. Mary Elizabeth is coming. I'm so excited to finally meet her. I think Megan Brandy is coming. I think. Don't quote me on that in case that's not true. Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
I kind of want to go to the Love in Vegas.
When is that? I want to go to that one too.
I think that one's in October of next year, if I remember correctly.
Oh, yeah.
So that's it for this episode. Do check out those authors that we mentioned, that we recommended. So next week is our author interview with Claire Contreras. So be on the lookout for that one.
And we are going to add a questions box in our Instagram. So if you want to ask her any questions, just head over there. Our handle is BookBuzz Podcast, and submit your questions and we can ask her whatever you guys want to know. I'm so freaking excited and nervous. And don't forget, Claire Contreras has her book, The Heartbreaker, releasing this week. It is a must read. I love that book. Jagger is everything, and he is mine. But you guys can pick him up. He is amazing. Mary Elizabeth Harlett is also releasing that book. It is phenomenal. I loved Tramp, but Harlot, it is amazing. So definitely pick those up. Like we said, we are going to be talking to Claire next week. So make sure you submit any questions you might have about her previous books, her current release, The Heartbreaker, or her future books.
So if you guys have any questions, message us on Instagram, BookBuzz Podcast. Hope you guys have a good rest of the week. See you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.